everybody, Chef Chad and my daughter Grace.
Hello!
Back here with Kids in the Kitchen, our latest video coming at you. This is a fun one because this is one that I think a lot of people don't have a lot of experience with making it. I'm sure most of you at some point have had this in a restaurant or had it somewhere, but you probably haven't made it at home. So we're going to show you how to make it at home, and it's calamari. What do you think about calamari, Grace?
I love it, but I've never seen it not cooked.
So you can see, this is a great one, I think, for gathering the family around and letting everybody experience what calamari is. So calamari is squid. Before it becomes calamari, it has to be squid. So squid swim through the ocean, and we've got some here that I'll show you here on camera that I've already cut up, but I've also got a couple of things that we're going to go through and talk about. Eventually, I'll go through and explain how to finish this up and how to buy this, how to clean them, how to cut them, and then we're going to talk about how to properly prepare them. So let's talk about preparing methods for calamari. So most of you have probably had calamari. You've had it deep fried in most Italian restaurants or some sort of Italian restaurant, or even a lot of other restaurants that serve them, right, Grace? Mm-hmm. That's where we have ours sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's just good to see the reaction of Grace actually seeing the calamari. Even though I've cooked it before at home, I've never involved the kids before I've actually made it when it was still in its raw form. So it's a new kind of thing for her. She's kind of like being back in science class right now, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So calamari, you want to cook it two different ways. You want to cook it high heat really quick. So if you're going to grill it or you're going to deep fry it, and when I say quick, I mean not more than a minute. So if you go over a minute, it gets really chewy and rubbery because of the way the body structure is of it. Or if you're going to cook it for a long period of time, you want to braise it. So what I've done before, and I've served this to the girls, is I've stuffed the squid, or I've put the squid tubes into some kind of red sauce, some kind of sauce, and I braise it for about 40 to 45 minutes. It takes a while for that to break down again. So if you cook it for really slow over like a braise, you want to do it for a long time. So 45 minutes or so to really break it down and make it become tender. If not, if you've ever had calamari that's not cooked properly, you probably know if you're chewing on it, kind of gnawing on it, it was not cooked properly in that restaurant that you've had it, or if someone has prepared it for you. So we are going to do traditional calamari, breaded, deep fried today. Really. Oh, that's our timer. That's good. We wanted that. So that was our timer for our temperature for our oil. We've got our oil going already. Caught me off guard. So that's good. So let's go through some of the equipment that we need before we start, because once we start, the cooking process is minimal. More about this is the mise en place, so getting things in place, getting things ready for cooking this, right, Grace?
Yeah.
So we'll just turn that off because that is going to annoy us, right? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna keep going, isn't it? Let's see if we can get that to turn off. I think we got it here, hopefully. I guess we'll find out here in a second. If not, then we'll come back to that. So the main things we want to have together is have everything ready to go before we actually start cooking, because the cooking is the fast part of this. It really, once this goes into the oil, it's less than a minute, it comes out, it's done. So that's it. So the main thing is to make sure we get everything put together ahead of time. So Grace, what is this?
Flour.
Flour. So we've got our AP flour ahead, ready to go. We're going to season ours today with oregano and with dried parsley. So you can see those on this camera. I'll get them over here. These are things that we decided to add to ours. You can add whatever you want. We do like the oregano and the parsley that goes into it. I've also got salt and pepper that we're going to put into it as well. So I'll bring that onto the camera. Salt, obviously, and then our handy dandy pepper mill, which we'll crack into the flour. And all that's going to go right into the flour. We're going to mix it up, and that'll be our breading for our calamari. With that, you don't need much more. The calamari's it's wet enough. It's got a little liquid with it. It's sitting in it. We're going to take it and we'll dredge it into the flour. We'll dust it off, and it's going to go right into our hot oil. Now when it comes out, we do have a sheet tray that we've got lined with a paper towel here, and that is what you're going to take and put that onto when it comes out of the oil. To get it out, you want to have either some kind of like slotted spoon or what's known as a spider or a wire basket, or there's many different names for this. But really this is the best tool that I like to use, because I can get almost the majority of it in one scoop, knock off the excess oil, and it goes right to my towels to cool or to start to drain. You can also use a pair of tongs too if you want. That's up to you. I will be using what I call the spider today. The spider. Can you see it?
Yeah.
You see me?
Yeah.
Can you see through the thing? Like a hockey mask.
Yeah.
I've also got a couple of our marinara. I'll put this over on this camera of our marinara from one of our previous episodes that we had frozen and just pulled out, let it defrost it, and heat it up. A couple of lemon wedges to squirt on top. It's always nice to have a little citrus or a little acid to balance out the richness of the calamari. And then I'm just going to garnish this today with some fresh chopped parsley. So, and that's it. But like I said, the main thing is to make sure that we have everything ready to go before it goes into the oil, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so Grace is going to pull out 2 tubes. There's 2 in there, right there. And she's going to show you how to properly slice them. So these are actually the body of the calamari. You want to hold them up for the camera? Hold up to this camera. These are actually, can you see it? This is the body of the calamari. So the face and the beak and the tubes or the tentacles are what's part of the other. So they go together. They're connected when they come. And what happens when people clean them? These are already pre-cleaned for us. You can buy them whole if you want. It's a really easy process to clean your own. The skin, the membrane on the outside just comes right off. There's a quill, like a little quill inside of the body. You got to pull out. That's not edible. And then the other part that's not edible is the beak, which you gotta, once you cut off the face of it, once you separate the tentacles, the face, and there's a little beak in there, and that's how they eat. They grab their fish or whatever their prey is when they bring it in with their tentacles, and then they chomp on it with their beak. So you wanna get those out, those are hard. These are already pre-cleaned. It's still a good idea too, once you get pre-cleaned calamari, go through and just feel for like a beak that's left in there, or feel in the body for a quill, because you don't wanna get those stuck in your throat. All right, go ahead and slice those into rings. We're going to cut them into about 1/2-inch rings. Just do one at a time. You can do both of you. One.
I want to do one. It's like hard to cut.
Okay. So she's going to slice these. You'll probably get 3 or 4 slices per. Just right down. Good job. All the way through. But you don't have the accordion effect.
2.
Yep, one more. That'd be good. Yeah, hold it up. Is it all stuck together? Almost. All right, go ahead and throw it into the rest.
Yep.
So Yep, got the accordion effect, so I want to go ahead and slice those all the way through. And it just helps for cooking. Make sure they're all about the same size for cooking times. Because like I said, you want, if you have a big tube and you have a small tube, the small tube's going to burn before the big tube is done. And really, like I said, you'll see it's really a quick process. We might even set a timer just to show you kind of that's part of the wing. So they have wings that help them guide through the water, which is, if you've ever seen them in the wild or seen them whole, they have these wings. They're edible. You can eat those. That's fine. All the way through.
That was hard.
Good job. You get the accordion again? Yep. All right. So now we're ready to go. I'm gonna have Grace go ahead and wash her hands real quick.
Oh yes.
All right, you wash your hands, and I'm gonna add the flour and everything else to it, or season the flour. So I'm going to add our oregano, add our parsley. I'm going to add a good pinch of salt. Maybe it's about almost a tablespoon of salt. Don't worry, you're not going to be left out. She's never off camera washing her hands. And then a good bit of pepper. You know, like I said, if you wanted to do something else, if you wanted to maybe do some like fennel, or you wanted to do some chilies, or just whatever else you want to do in your flour mix, that's totally fine. That's up to you. You can do it as you wish. You want to stir that up? Yes. You stir that one up. Get it well incorporated. Don't knock it out of the bowl though.
I'll try not to.
So let me check our oil. So we want our oil to be about between 325 and 350. It's at 350 right now. So I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. Now, if your oil is really hot, don't add this. Don't add your calamari. You're going to burn them, and it'll have like a bitter taste. So just let that temperature come down a little bit. It's at 350. It's actually coming down to 349 already, just by turning it down. And also with your oil, do not fill up the pot all the way, or even more. So I would say no more than about halfway up the side of the pot. This is about half up. It's about 3 inches deep. But if you go more than half, what happens when you add things that have any kind of liquid inside of it, like water, is that water becomes steam when it hits the oil and it expands. So if it expands up over our pot, then all the oil goes down the sides and it catches fire, and that's how fires are started. So you want to be careful when you're deep frying at home or outside or whatever it is. Just be careful that you don't overfill your pot. Okay? Is it ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. I'm also using a canola oil today. It's one that I got from the store. I like canola oil. It's got a high temperature, neutral flavor. It's got a high temperature smoke point, so it can go up to higher temperatures without burning. But it also has, like I said, it has a nice neutral flavor. It doesn't add any more flavor to it. If you wanted to do, like, say, something else in it that you wanted some flavor to it, you could use like peanut oil, which also has a nice high temperature or high smoke point as well. All right, you ready to go? Let's get the knife out of the way. So we're gonna take let's probably do maybe like half of our calamari. What do you think? So,
It looks
like I
so
said,
good when it's like cut.
so we're gonna add that to our flour.
You can do it.
You want me to do
just
it?
wash my hands.
Okay, you may do it.
Yeah.
So let's start with about half. What do you say? We'll do half at a time. Okay. So I'm gonna just take that fork and just completely coat our calamari so that it's nicely covered. You know, pull them apart. If not, when they go in, they'll become one big clump. So make sure you avoid that. You can see that the tentacles all want to stick together. You can pull those apart.
I've never seen squid tentacles.
You've never seen? Yeah, you've eaten a lot of these things.
I've eaten them, just haven't
Oh,
seen them like
yeah.
not cooked.
So, and then you want to get them all ready. Actually, let's grab another little quick bowl. If you have enough space, you can always take and dust these out, but I just take and pick them up and shake them. I'm going to go into another bowl so I can get them all ready. That way, they all go into oil together, because you don't want to put these into the oil one at a time or a few at a time, and then it takes 30 seconds to get them all in there, because by the time the first ones are done, the second one, the last little bit you're putting in there is not finished yet. So let's get them all out of the oil or the flour. You could also use a little basket if you have a little wire basket, like a little strainer, and you could run it through that as well. You want to show them that one? You want to give that?
It should be in here. Just to myself.
Okay, so these are ready to go. I've got.
It's not
Yeah.
there somewhere.
All right, that's okay.
Oh, here it is.
We'll show them the next one. How about that? Okay, so we're going to take these guys and go into the oil really quick. I'm putting so they kind of go in. Bubbly, hang on. All right, give me count down to 45 seconds, okay? Yep.
Come on. 38, 37, 36, 35, 36, 35, 34, 35.
You can also give them a nice little stir to use your basket.
30, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 26, 25, 24, 26, 27.
And you can also hear that the oil is not sizzling as hard as well. I think we're good on time. So the oil is going to tell us too, because you can see that the oil is not bubbling as hard. It's not the steam's coming out of it, or it's already out of it now.
That's my time.
And they're just about there. You can already feel they're crispy. Don't try and go to a dark golden brown. This isn't fried chicken. This doesn't have to cook for a long time. So I'm actually going to say that those are just about ready to go. I mean, you can feel that they're crispy already. All right, let's pull it out. Let's give them a nice little knock off, get as much of the oil off as possible.
Tastes so good.
Really good.
Look at that one. That one's fine.
Get them all out now. We're going to get it recooked.
Look at that one.
Alright. So, I'm going to get the next round ready. You want to season those with some salt, Grace?
What?
Put a little salt on top of those. It's important to season things when they come out of the oil. You got it? Okay. It's important to season things when they come out of the oil because they're still absorbed, they're still wet. And that'll help pull that salt into it, it'll help stick and adhere to it. So I'm going to get the rest of these into it. We'll fry the rest of these and then we'll wrap up and we'll plate these up and have some yummy calamari. Alright, so this round's almost done as well. They're getting really close. You can see that once again it's the oil. If you want to set a timer for 45 seconds, set a timer for 45 seconds. That's great. Have Grace gotten out for you. She'll be more than happy to count to 45 for you, right? Yeah. But you can tell by the oil, so you can see that it's not sizzling and it's not boiling or bubbling as much anymore. That's really starting to calm down because the moisture is coming out of the calamari, and that's what's really telling us that these are almost done. Now, if I were to let these go for 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes to get that nice golden brown color, these would be really hard and chewy and rubbery, and they would not be appetizing at all. So I think these are good. You can feel just by you'll be able to tell with your basket or your tongs you can feel the texture of them. You can feel that they're crispy. So you can feel that they're ready to go. It's also important too to make sure your oil is at the right temperature. Because if your oil is not at the right temperature, if say it's like too cold, it's not going to actually give that nice crispy texture. It's actually just going to sit there and just braise your calamari for a couple of minutes or whatever time you put it in there, and it'll never get like crispy for you. All right, I think that's it. We're going to turn off our little oven, our stove top. Is it off? All right, let's go ahead and season those up as well. Then we'll show everybody how to put this up. You want to season? Go ahead.
Okay. Like that much?
Hold high, yep. Remember, hold high. Why do we hold it high?
Because when you're down below, it just goes into one spot. When you're up above, it spreads out.
All right, that's beautiful.
See?
All right, let's bring this over here and I'll show you how we put this together. It takes a second to drain your calamari. It doesn't take very long. You can just even take your paper towel, put them all on your plate. Oop.
Oh, one fell. One's
One
gone.
for later. What to get him later. Watch yourself.
There's two.
So then we just take our lemon wedges, put those on the side here.
Oh, it looks like a tiny squid like this.
A little bit of parsley.
I just found
Not need
these
much.
fell on the floor, so.
And then our marinara on the side. You want to try one? You wash your hands? It was on the floor. No, go wash your hands again. So things fall on the floor. It's a good learning experience for her. When things fall on the floor and you pick them up, your hands are now dirty again. So it's always a good idea to wash your hands again when things fall on the floor before we go back through and pick them up. Once she washes her hand, we'll let her come back and we'll let her try the calamari. Huh, Grace?
I'm starving.
Huh? Are you ready?
Yes.
You ready to try the calamari?
Uh-huh.
All right. All right, come on over. So you can just take your lemon, squeeze a little lemon on it.
That's what we like to do.
Yep. And then you can take it, dip it into the.
I'm gonna take a testicle.
Take a tentacle.
It looks like a baby squid. Yeah, it's really funny.
Enjoy. It might be a little hot. Okay. Let me try one. Oh yeah, these are nice. You can tell.
That's good.
They're not chewy at all. Good texture, good flavor. Good job, Rutgers.
That was amazing. Good.
Are you good for now?
No.
I think Grace has checked out. She's going to be eating the rest of our calamari here. So, that's all the stuff. I don't know if you can see this in the camera. Make sure everybody can see that first. So that's it. There's our calamari. Great job today, Grace. Really quick and easy. How do we cook calamari?
Huh?
How do we cook calamari? Quiz time. Huh? Nope.
I didn't even answer.
How do you cook it?
Oh my god, something stuck on my teeth. Okay.
She has food in her teeth.
Okay. This is a fryer.
Yep.
So you take a fryer, you take calamari, you chop them up into little round things. I don't know what they're called. And then you take flour, seasoning, salt, pepper.
That was it.
Yeah. And then you mix the flour and all the stuff together. Then you take your squid, you put it in there, and you do that, and you mix them up. And then you put it in there for a minute, take it out, and you enjoy them.
And you enjoy. Bon appetit. All right. Anything else to add to that?
No, but
I think
actually, yes, these are amazing.
All right. Well, there you have it again, folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in the next video with Kids in the Kitchen. And you want to sign up? See you later.
Bye.
All right. Bye, guys.